Oh no. No, 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 no. Oh, oh no. Why? Why? Goodbye. I wonder if McDonald's is hiring. So obviously I'm being a little bit hyperbolic for purposes of drama and maybe being a little bit funny. Obviously, the news this morning that Make Media is shutting down its doors is tragic. It is very sad, and it's affecting a lot of people in a lot of ways. Make Media had an impact on not just a culture, but our very language. Because before Make Media, there were still makers. My father made stuff all the time, but he didn't call it making, he called it puttering around in his workshop. My grandfather made stuff, but he didn't call it making, he called it woodworking or metalworking. Actually, there was a lot of working back then. But with Dale Dougherty and Make Media coming in, we started to call it making. And it's a bit of a stretch to say that everything that is now called maker started from Make Media, but at the same time, it's not that big of a stretch to say that, because MakerBot started, Bree Pettis started at Make Media doing videos about building a 3D printer before he made MakerBot. So it's actually, there's a lot of people whose identity is tied up in makers, and that started with Make Media. So having Make Media go away is a big blow to a lot of people. But just because we don't have Make Media anymore doesn't mean that we're done making. We're still going to be making. In fact, there's a lot of people with hashtag makers gotta make, hashtag make harder. This has been a wake-up call that it's time to get working on those projects that you've put off, because Make Media is no longer around, so now we are the makers. We make it mean something. And I love that. I'm 100% behind that. You know, my theory is that after 15 years of running Make Media and creating this community, Dale wants out. And he deserves it, quite frankly. I hope that this whole thing ends up in him getting a significant payout, because he deserves it. He created a movement, and doggone it, at 64 years old, he wants a break. Let the man have it. But there are some people who were deeply affected by this, who the loss of particularly maker fairs has left them feeling alone. Because maker fairs was their connection to other people. They didn't go to maker spaces. They didn't have groups that they went to. Maker Faire was it for them. And with the end of Make Media, they might never be able to meet these people ever again without exerting some significant effort on their part. And to those people, I say, hold on. Because I don't think that this is the end of Maker Fairs. And I'm going to offer you 5 possible alternatives just to give you a little bit of hope for the future of what might happen with a Maker Faire in the future. Number 1, a community-sponsored solution. There are already people, and I will leave a link in the description, who are trying to raise money to buy out Make Media and keep it in the hands of the community. And while this solution is, I feel, a great one for the grassroots and keeping it in the grassroots, if you feel passionately that the maker movement should stay at the grassroots level, then support these people, and maybe this will be the solution going forward. I know of all of these solutions, this is the one most eager to do it that I know of. Number 2, there are a couple of big players in this space who I feel could step in. The most obvious one would be Tested.com. Adam Savage is already at every single one of these maker events, and while Tested did not start with Adam Savage, that he bought into it later, he's now a big part of Tested. And so, yeah, it would be interesting to see Tested buy up Make Media, maybe even rebrand themselves as Make Media, and we'd get Adam Savage on the cover of every single Make magazine after that. He'd be like a bearded Oprah. Whether or not you like Adam Savage as a personality or you feel whatever, I think that Tested could take the whole kit and caboodle and run with it, and we would not see the end of it, and it would still stay very grassroots. There's also Adafruit, which is a great company and also in that space. However, Adafruit isn't in the business of running fairs and events. So would they want to take that aspect of things and run it? It would definitely be an expansion of their current possibilities. But they've got business acumen. They know what they're doing, and they'll keep it at the grassroots. So for me, I think that would be a great option. Google also has a presence at just about every single Maker Faire, and even when Microsoft and other big corporate backers were backing out, Google was still there giving away little soldering kits to people. I feel like while it's an odd fit, Google would be a good fit to take Maker Faire and keep running with it. Google has that sort of grassroots, get it done mentality, and so I would not be opposed to a Google Maker Faire in the future. This last one's a bit of a long shot, but it's been in the back of my mind for a long time. What if a big box retailer were to come in and buy this out? Like Lowe's or Home Depot or Ace Hardware. In fact, what if these companies, which quite frankly were doing making before making was a thing, they were the ones who my father and grandfather went to get the supplies that they needed for their maker projects. What if they embraced this pre-maker thing and started selling 3D printers, which I think Lowe's already does, and set aside some space for, like, every one of the stores has a little maker space where you could rent their machines by the hour or by the gram or whatever, and do making in a big box retailer. And if they did that, if they embraced that, they could also take Make Media and they could run the fairs. They've got the business infrastructure. They could do it. Now, as far as I know, none of these big box retailers are even aware of the maker movement, or if they are, they don't believe in it. And so that might be not the best option if you're interested in keeping it in the grassroots, but they know how to run a big store, big events. Lowe's and Home Depot have little events where once a month they bring people in and with hammers and nails, they make a thing. They're already making, let's add 3D printing and electronics and soldering to that, and they would be just right there for it. In the end, what is actually going to happen, though, might be more of a parting out of things. It's entirely likely that what we'll see is that everybody will get a little bit of it. Maybe Adafruit gets the magazine and Tested gets the fairs and somebody else gets the books, and they all just kind of take it and split it up, and Make Media as a name, as an entity, ceases to exist. Somebody buys the name and rebrands themselves, but the rest of the Make Media empire has been split out and it exists in other places. And that's likely, in fact, and that would work because it would mean that instead of having 2 or 3 different entities and ideas under one roof, they're under the roof that suits them best, and they have people who can focus on that part. Regardless of what happens, I don't think that we're done getting together at fairs. And I still think that there will be a place where we will see stars and superstars and the people who we really respect in this field and be able to see them and meet them and talk to them face to face. I don't think that we're done with Maker Fairs. So I would say hold on if you're worried about it, because the future is still bright. We're makers. We're not about to let something die that we love and care about. We'll make a solution to it. But what do you think? How would you like to see Make Media going forward? What option do you think would be the best? Leave a comment and let me know what you think.
Before we go, check out this cool project on the What You Making channel on my Discord. Why don't you stop by and check out what other cool projects are there? And hey, if you share something you've done, maybe you'll see it in a future video too. Thank you very much for watching. Hey, if I mentioned anything in this video, you'll find a link to it in the cards, and you should check that out. Did you know that I'm social? I've got links to all the socials, and you should stop by and say hi. I really kind of enjoy it when that happens. Big thanks go out to my direct backers, and if you want to know more about how you can become that, there'll be a link right here that you can check out. And as always, I want to remind you, safety first, because I care about you, and I'll see you next time. Oh, that's interesting. Classic one there.